Welcome back to the Credible Dev YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about virtual machines, and if you're like me, you're no stranger to using virtual machines on your system. You could use them for various reasons, from testing out new Linux distributions to having a separate Windows install for when you need it, a separate dev environment. There's many reasons to have virtual machines. So I'm pretty familiar with Virt Manager, VirtualBox, some of the other ones like Hyper-V on Windows. I've used a lot of different tools for running virtual machines on my computer. I'd heard about an application called Boxes, but I'd never tried it out. So I decided to give it a shot to see how it worked. And I was really impressed with how easy it was, especially for new users. I mean, VirtualBox is pretty easy to use, and some of these other tools, if you're familiar with computers at all, which you probably are if you're trying to run a virtual machine, but Boxes actually makes this incredibly simple. Like, I can't imagine a way that you could make it easier for a beginner. And even though I'm not a beginner, I still enjoyed using Boxes because of the simplicity. And it just works. It works great from my testing. And there's one particular feature that I really did enjoy, and while you could do things like this in one of the other virtualization applications, it's not quite as easy, and it's not ready out of the box like it is with Boxes. So what is Boxes? Boxes is a virtual machine manager. It takes a lot from like Virt Manager. So if you're familiar with Virt Manager, you have Virt Manager installed, then Boxes uses a lot of the core technologies to make it work too. The difference comes in the interface and just how everything's ready to go out of the box. You can easily install many different Linux distributions without having to go download the ISO or anything like that. It's also installable through FlatHub, which is great. It means you're pretty much going to be able to install it on any Linux distribution without having to go through and hunt for dependencies and this and that. And because it's a Flatpak, it's going to work how the developer intended it, since everything's wrapped into the install already. Let's go ahead and take a look at Boxes. Go ahead and pull this up on my machine where I have two virtual machines already set up. One for Fedora and one for Ubuntu. And if you want to add additional ones, this is one of the greatest things about it for new users. You don't really have to fool with, finding ISOs and doing all that kind of stuff. And actually, when I installed Ubuntu, it went through the installer for me. I didn't have to do anything. For whatever reason, it didn't do that with Fedora. I haven't tried out any other distributions yet to know whether it automatically goes through the install with the others. Maybe Fedora was just a fluke with me. I haven't tried it again to see if it was just a one-time thing or not. But anyways, installing Ubuntu, that was really nice. It just went straight through the installer, and yeah, that was it. So to add a new virtual machine, just click this add button here. And you can see we have a lot of different downloads available here. Now, if you don't see the one that you want listed here, you can still use an ISO, or we can browse. Have some additional ones we can install here. I mean, pretty much anything you can think of, it's in here and ready to go. So you only have to go hunt down the ISO. They'll just download it for you. And then it'll bring up a box where it wants you to configure how much RAM you have and things like that. It doesn't get super detailed like what you would find in Virt Manager. So that's one of the drawbacks to this project. And they call that out in their documentation, that it's not as robust as something like Virt Manager and some of the other options, because this is actually more geared towards a new user who is just getting started with virtual machines, and this is a great way to get into virtual machines if you're a new user. But like I said, I'm not a new user and I still enjoy setting it up. So let's go ahead and pull up this Fedora Workstation 37. And when it first pulls up, because this box is small, it'll just auto adjust the desktop size. See it change there. So we can go ahead, make it a little bit bigger. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up my file manager here. I have this file. This file manager is on my machine, not on the virtual machine. So we'll just grab this file and drag it over And let me kind of move this out of the way so you can see the box that pops up there. So it says ready to receive the file, and it will go into the downloads directories. And there is our test file that we just copied from our machine to this machine. That's, like I said, you can do that on the other ones. I've never tried to do a drag and drop, but accessing files on the virtual machine or on the host machine from the virtual machine, that kind of thing. That's always been something you could do in other tools, but being able to drag and drop to the desktop like that is way easier. And it's a way better experience for a new user, I believe, because most new users aren't going to want to go through all the work to set that up. Even though on some of them it's not that much work, but still, like I said, it's geared at new users, and that process is super simple. And the VMs themselves, since they run on the same technologies and the same software packages that are underneath something like Virt Manager, the experience with the VM as far as speed and interacting with the virtual desktop is great. It's just like what you would expect with Virt Manager from my experience. So if you're interested in checking this out, I'll have links down in the description below. And here soon, I'll probably have a blog post up about Boxes 2 with maybe some additional things that I've learned over time. And that's really it for this video. So if you're in the market for trying out something new with your virtual machines, I would definitely suggest giving Boxes a shot. It's a great project. I really enjoy testing it out, and I hope you do too. And that's it for today. I want to thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you checking it out. That and my channel. You can also check me out on Twitter so you don't miss any of my blog posts. I tend to make way more blog posts than I do videos. So be sure to check that out as well. And everybody have a great day. Thanks.